Valve VRS rankings at the moment, so like, they're obviously doing something well enough in recent competitions to sort of stay within those higher echelons.
Then simple on rotation, just allowing that scout to flow with the bullets. VP will not be happy because that should have been a 3-0 conversion.
The rifles come out a little extra round earlier than they would have anticipated. Was playing on what is still a top team in spite of the disappointments you might have on Virtus.pro part of it.
Site, but just not quite capitalizing on that very last player. And another thing to kind of mention is how long it's been since Simple has been on an English-speaking team. We've got to go all the way back to the Liquid days, and even if you just think, oh yeah,
been able to build it up as steadily as they would have hoped.
I'm going to ask you, Jay, do you think it's important that Simple shows a lot of his top form in the opening few officials, or does it see if he can cut a rotate, maybe get into a strong position, and just look for damage? Instead, it turns into actually a winnable round. They get the opening kill out of B, they get the bomb down, and then Flit is just doing damage.
Have been the team that have been slightly more proficient in these rounds here. Yes, the last one was an eco. Held the lead from the start.
Needs to be discussed about Madden's drop-off in recent games, and a lot of people have been quite critical that he hasn't been performing to the same level that we know of. He's meant to be the star.
They switched to the second half. Not the worst scoreline to bring back, but still not the most comfortable one either.
Well, you wonder how threatening they can be in any map. Into the lower bracket semi where they went up against Astralis, got another 13-9. Didn't get to play it again, unfortunately, for the rest of the group or the playoff game against Na'Vi. We know that they picked basically Dust2 and Mirage. Coaching staff changes than actual player changes for VP this year. Remember back to what, April time when Mir got benched and Electronic got weak in the pool as of late. 3 losses in a row for them. They've only got 3 wins and 6 losses in the last 3 months on HLTV, giving it tail end of the round. Would have been lovely to hold on to mass AKs, 4 alive, start building up that bank on the CT side to give yourself a round streak. And not to be slightly expensive. The Falcons, though, you'd have to say, as soon as the next rifle round comes in, not the best of follow-ups by them.
Have a lot of savings available to them. I don't imagine VP are going to have a massive amount here outside of the save weapon. So you are pretty much...
That should have been at least 1 kill to either the close triple player or the second player that was slightly further back at default. Could that have been a missed opportunity? Could that have been 1 kill and a round still?
Strategies. What will they try and bring out?
Clean there from Flip. Let's see what the second kill looked like from Electronic. Oh, your low HP player.
That point is certainly calling for the favorites.
And if anyone would ask me, Jay, how important is repositioning and movement in CS, I'd say watch this round and find out. That is a great turn from Norbert, but the frag that he had on the AWP from back triple and the multi-frag that he had with the M4 back on B. Outside of that, we've seen the odd pick here or there, but not leading to...
No, and that confidence really is kind of the difference maker between these two sides. Ultimately, Virtus.pro have been, as you mentioned before, doing good stuff in the Tier 1 environment, getting great playoff runs towards lands, and as a result, it's...
Simple's on debut, Jay, that doesn't bother me at all. To go up against 3D Max and VP back-to-back and not even give us a threat of winning a map? Come on, man.
I mean, the form was bad coming into today. I mean, I didn't think the Simple was going to make the ultimate difference of getting the...
So it wasn't, but it's not down to it. Yeah, got a TP. Really good work. And I think Flit looked incredible, and, you know, we were sort of talking about it while the game was going on. The amount of impact this guy has is just ridiculous.
Oh, it was insane. Like, in round 17, he had a nice 2K. It was just the pistols and the anti-eagles, so like, okay. But then round 18 was the big one. He goes right out of B main and peeks out and nails 2 players to the wall. I mean, unbelievable impact just in that round. And of course, he was doing it all map long. And what's also promising for VP is, I mentioned it before, you know, they got stomped by OG on Anubis just a couple hours ago, and then they come back here against the Falcons and they managed to pull it off and get that victory. So maybe that was a bit of a, hey guys, let's get things going. We can be better on this map, even though we don't have any reps, even though things aren't that great. Let's try to get something materializing a little bit here, and it absolutely happens, and you got to credit Flit a lot. I think the whole team, though, had their moments. You know, every single player was contributing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, it has to be said, what a CT side out for Virtus.pro. 7 rounds in a row before we finally saw Falcons put one on the board, and then it immediately got responded in kind and closed out. It just showcases how good VP are able to streak, and this is much better. In comparison to the OG game, this is the VP that we know, the side that actually can play good Counter-Strike. But again, I'm still going to bring it up. I mean, ultimately for me, I haven't seen VP pick up a notable victory under their belt since EWC back in July. They've been beating Falcons a hell of a lot, but that's not notable. Falcons aren't a scary team. Astralis, with this new lineup, we know they're not a scary team. Neither are 90. Neither are the Mongols at the moment. It may have been 3 or 4 months ago when they were making deep runs to tournaments. Mongols are now plateauing massively, so I think people are really still overestimating the side on a top silverware contending level, which is ultimately what VP are. They're meant to be a side who are challenging for trophies. This is good, right? They've now got to find ways, though, to take that form that they've taken here against Falcons. They obviously absolutely Falcons kryptonite as well. They seem to beat them all the time, but they've now got to do that against other teams. And even when you look at some of the other